The village of Hollow Creek was old. Ancient trees lined its streets, their branches gnarled like skeletal fingers. A thick fog often rolled in, swallowing the village whole. And at the edge of town, on a hill overlooking the Whispering Woods, stood the Hollow Whisper Inn. It was a towering Victorian mansion, its paint peeling like sunburnt skin. Broken windows stared out like empty eyes. The inn had been empty for decades. Locals whispered of a dark history of tragic deaths and restless spirits. Some claimed to see flickering lights in the dead of night or hear faint cries carried on the wind. The Hollow Whisper Inn had become a spectre of fear, a place where shadows danced and secrets hid. No one dared to go near the inn, not anymore. It stood as a silent monument to fear, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the seemingly peaceful village. The very air around the inn seemed to crackle with an unsettling energy, an energy that promised danger.
Are you sure about this?
The four friends stood at the foot of the hill, the Hollow Whisper Inn looming above them. The setting sun cast long, eerie shadows across the overgrown lawn.
Don't be such a scaredy cat, it's just an old house. People love a good ghost story.
He adjusted the backpack slung over his shoulder, filled with flashlights and snacks, essential supplies for ghost hunting.
Yeah, Emily, besides we promised we'd investigate a spooky place for our YouTube channel. This is perfect.
He held up his camera, the lens reflecting the dying sunlight.
Fine. But if we hear something, we're leaving. No questions.
The others nodded in agreement, their earlier enthusiasm waning as they approached the inn. The closer they got, the colder the air felt, a damp chill that seeped into their bones.
This place, it feels heavy.
Her words hung in the air, a chilling premonition that sent a shiver down Emily's spine. The front door creaked open with a groan, like a mouth gasping for its last breath. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of dust and decay. Cobwebs hung from every corner, and the only light came from the sliver of sunset peeking through the grimy windows.
Whoa, this place is creepy.
He shone his flashlight around, illuminating faded wallpaper and dusty portraits that seemed to watch their every move. They moved cautiously through the house, their footsteps echoing in the silence. Each room was like a snapshot of a forgotten life. A dusty gramophone in the corner, a half-finished game of chess on a table, a rocking chair swaying gently as if pushed by an unseen hand.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
I thought I heard a whisper, like someone was right next to me.
This place, it feels like it's watching us.
Suddenly a loud bang echoed from upstairs, followed by the sound of shattering glass. The friends froze, their hearts pounding in their chests. Fear hung heavy in the air, thick and suffocating. Even Mark seemed to have lost his bravado. They crept up the creaking stairs, each step sending a jolt of adrenaline through their bodies. The sound had come from a room at the end of the hall, its door slightly ajar. As they peered inside, their flashlights illuminated a scene of chaos. A small table lay overturned, its contents scattered across the floor. Shards of broken glass glinted menacingly in the dim light. And in the center of the room, lying open on a dusty floorboard, was a leather-bound diary.
What is this place?
Chloe picked up the diary, her fingers tracing the worn leather.
It feels cold.
What does it say?
Chloe held the diary closer to the light. The writing was faded and spidery, but as she began to read aloud, her voice took on a strange, distant quality.
July 18th, 1888. This house, it whispers to me. I hear voices in the walls, see shadows flitting at the edge of my vision. The mirror, it shows me things, terrible things. I fear for my sanity, for my very soul.
A cold draft snaked through the room, extinguishing their flashlights and plunging them into darkness. A collective gasp escaped their lips. The diary slipped from Chloe's grasp, falling shut with a soft thud.
We need to get out of here.
Mark stammered, his voice trembling. The darkness seemed to press in on them, suffocating and heavy. They fumbled for their flashlights, their hands shaking.
As Jake's flashlight flickered back to life, it illuminated a sight that made their blood run cold. At the far end of the room, hidden behind a tattered tapestry, was a full-length mirror. Its ornate silver frame was tarnished with age, and the glass was clouded and warped, reflecting back a distorted image of the room.
The mirror. The diary mentioned a mirror.
Drawn by an unseen force, they approached the mirror. As they got closer, the reflections within the glass began to shift and swirl. The room around them faded away, replaced by a swirling vortex of darkness. Tendrils of black smoke reached out from the mirror's surface, wrapping around their limbs like icy claws.
What's happening?
Jake cried, his voice filled with terror. Before anyone could answer, the mirror erupted in a blinding flash of light, throwing them backwards. When they opened their eyes, they found themselves in a different room. This room was colder, darker. The air was thick with the cloying scent of decay, and the only light came from flickering torches that lined the stone walls. They were trapped.
Panic surged through them as they realized the horrifying truth. They were no longer in the inn. The mirror had transported them, trapped them within its depths. The room they were in was circular, the walls lined with countless other mirrors, each reflecting back a distorted image of themselves. "We're trapped," Emily whispered, her voice trembling. "We're trapped in the mirror."
We have to get out of here, Mark said, his voice strained. He ran to one of the mirrors, pounding his fists against the cold glass, but it was no use. The surface remained solid, unyielding.
Suddenly, a figure materialized in one of the mirrors. It was a young woman, her face pale and drawn, her eyes wide with fear. She wore a long flowing gown, torn and stained. She reached out to them, her voice a mournful whisper. "Help me," she pleaded. "Please help me."
The friends huddled together, their fear giving way to a strange sense of pity. Who was this woman, and how did she get trapped in the mirror? And more importantly, could they help her? Could they help themselves?
"Who are you?" Chloe asked, her voice trembling slightly. The woman in the mirror, her image flickering like a candle in the wind, turned her sorrowful eyes towards Chloe.
"My name is Eliza," the figure whispered, "and I am a prisoner of this cursed mirror. I was once like you, young and foolish, drawn to the mysteries of this house." Her voice cracked with emotion. "This mirror, it feeds on fear and despair," Eliza continued, her voice filled with urgency. "It lured me in with promises of knowledge, of power, but it betrayed me, trapping me here for eternity." Her eyes, filled with a deep sadness, pleaded with them. "Don't end up like me," she warned.
How can we help you? Emily asked, her voice echoing in the vast chamber.
"You must find the source of the curse," Eliza said, her voice growing fainter. "The mirror's power, it comes from a place of darkness, a place of sorrow. You must destroy it before it consumes you all."
As quickly as she had appeared, Eliza's image flickered and vanished. The mirror's surface was once again a swirling vortex of darkness. The friends were left alone, facing their own mortality within the mirror's cold embrace. The fate of Eliza and their own escape from the mirror's clutches rested on finding that locket and breaking the curse at its source. Remembering their exploration of the inn, they recalled a hidden door behind a dusty tapestry. With renewed determination, they retraced their steps, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and hope. They had to find that locket, for Eliza and for themselves. They searched desperately for a way out, for any clue that could lead them to the source of the curse. The diary. Chloe remembered the diary they had found. Perhaps it held the answer. She retrieved the diary from where it had fallen, its leather cold to the touch. Flipping through the brittle pages, her heart sank. The writing was faded, almost illegible in the dim light. Just as she was about to give up hope, a particular passage caught her eye. August 1st, 1888. I have discovered the truth behind the mirror's power. It draws its energy from a hidden chamber beneath the house, a place where a great tragedy once unfolded. The chamber is sealed with a silver locket, a symbol of the broken heart that fuels the mirror's darkness. "The locket!" Chloe exclaimed. "We need to find a silver locket!"
They found the hidden chamber, a small, suffocating space filled with a palpable aura of sorrow, and there, lying on a dusty pedestal, was a tarnished silver locket, its surface etched with a single word: forever. As soon as their fingers brushed against the cold metal of the locket, the mirror world around them began to tremble violently. Cracks spread across the reflective surfaces like shattered ice. The locket pulsed with a strange energy, growing warmer by the second. With a final surge of determination, they ripped the locket from its resting place. The effect was instantaneous and catastrophic. The mirror world shattered around them, shards of glass flying through the air like daggers. They were thrown back into the inn, the familiar scent of dust and decay filling their lungs. The cursed mirror, now just a pile of broken glass and splintered wood, lay on the floor, its reign of terror finally over. Exhausted but safe, they stumbled out of the Hollow Whisper Inn, leaving behind the horrors they had witnessed. The village, shrouded in the pale light of dawn, seemed strangely peaceful, untouched by the terrors of the night. The Hollow Whisper Inn remained abandoned, a chilling reminder of their terrifying ordeal. Life in Hollow Creek returned to normal, but the legend of the haunted inn lived on, and the four friends, forever changed by their experience, knew that some secrets were best left undisturbed, for within the depths of the mirror some stories never end. They simply wait to be reflected anew.